Good evening, everyone. This is the Hanson FinCom meeting of 8 September 2020. Thank you all for joining me this evening at 7 p.m. So we'll get moving forward with our agenda and the items we're going to cover tonight. So on the call tonight, we have Michelle Werdeman, Mike Dugan, and Ken McCormick. So I believe Ms. Wright is going to be joining us later. Unfortunately, Mr. Powers will not be able to join us. His father passed away after a lengthy illness, so he is up in Buffalo with his family. So he'll be rejoining us in the next week or so, but it will just be our limited group tonight. So welcome back. I feel like we just wrapped up annual town meeting, and here we are again right in a special town meeting. So I have the press is on. The town meeting is scheduled for first weekend in October, first Saturday in October. So we will make our recommendations and our press forward towards that date. So with that being said, we'll start with, I sent you all an email with the most up-to-date documents. I apologize, I got an updated set of documents at around 5:30. So if I sent ones earlier, these are the most up-to-date ones. So if you want to reference those in our discussion, we can look at those as we go forward. So does everyone have those? Is everyone able to take a look at those?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. So it should be one Word document and 2 Excel spreadsheets. The special town meeting has 16 items on it. As of right now, 16 articles. So what I would like to do is briefly read through them one by one. If you have questions, if you have comments, concerns, things we need clarified, I will note those down and get them answered for us, if that works for the team here.
Sounds good.
All right. So the first one, Article 1, to see if the town will vote to transfer a sum of money from available funds to pay for unpaid bills from prior fiscal years or take any other action thereinto. This is the standard bill pay one. Let's see. I don't know if I have.
Whopping $768, huh?
Yeah, I was gonna say the whopping $768. I don't have a detailed breakdown of that. I'm sure the town administrator will be providing that here in the next day or so. I know the selectmen are looking at voting on these next week at their meeting.
No, I mean, I joke about it as that, but I think that's a credit to Todd managing these down the end to get them to a number where it's not crazy. It's not 8,000, 10,000 like we've seen years past. I mean, less than $1,000 after balancing accounts at the end of the year with everything that's gone on. Tip my hat to him.
Yeah, absolutely. It's he's a real asset to the town. So you know, he, as you said, Mike, we've seen that balance much higher in the past. So it's good that we are where we are. Any questions on Article 1?
Nope.
Article 2, to see if the town will vote to transfer a sum of money from available funds to supplement appropriations previously voted in Article 6 of the July 29, 2020 annual town meeting for fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2020 for various town departments. The purpose of this article is to supplement a number of line items in the current fiscal year's budget in order to fund a number of additional expenses incurred during the fiscal year. And it says a detailed handout will be presented to the voters. Obviously, before we can take any votes, I'm going to request that we see that. I don't have it yet. They haven't provided it. And let me look at Mr. Stanbrook's email. He did not provide any other amplifying. So I will ask for more detailed handout because I'd like to see that handout before.
So this is Article 2?
Yes.
On one of the spreadsheets you attached, it says article number, like Article 1, unpaid bills, and then it's got Article 2A, 2B, 2C, 2D, 2E that are the
All right. Yep.
Crocker Street appraisal, Police capital outlay for cruisers and radios, salaries for van drivers, for
On the
and
funding,
then
on the
water
funding.
expenses.
Yep, okay, right.
But
There they are.
so that's the 109,100 is the amount that's listed there. So I think
Right.
this is matching up to more of the detail that probably we're interested in.
Yeah, it looks like it matches up, both spreadsheets match up to the total dollar value.
Apparently, the end of the world wasn't coming at our last town meeting. Apparently, looking at these sheets.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I can read the last email from Todd. There are some. He gave the balances of all of our different funds. He's waiting for the Department of Revenue to certify free cash in the next week. Same with, I gave you a number for recreation retained earnings and solid waste retained earnings.
Yep.
He's still waiting for the DOR certification. So those will come in the next week or so. But yeah,
I'm
that
good
looks
with
like
two, if that's the explanation for him. I'm not happy
Yeah.
with it. But
right.
because, like Mike said, I don't think you're going to get much more than that.
I agree.
Well, I guess my bigger question is if these are to supplement budgets. I get the fact that like so the police radios at 10,000, they're under that cap number that we had, which I can't remember is 25,000 or 35,000, but you've got cruisers for 50,000. You know, can somebody refresh me on are they buying them out or still leasing them? Because my question here is that if it's a $50,000 supplement to an existing budget thinking operational as opposed to capital, and when it refers to it as capital outlay for 50,000, to me that's I guess that I don't get why it's in this to supplement the operational budget.
I don't either, to be honest, Mike. That's why I think we're going to need more certification. Like I said, the town administrator fired these off to me at 5:30 tonight,
Right.
and you know, I barely had enough time to sort of fire them
You mean
off.
you opened them and looked at them for 10 minutes and don't have all the answers?
I don't. So
You're
I
not
will-
doing
I
a
will-
lot, Mike, for 50 grand with a cruiser. You know, it's one cruiser.
Oh, I
It's not-
get it. I get
it's
it. But
not
all I'm
more to
saying
supplement.
is
Yeah, it's
all-
probably
all-
probably 50 grand to supplement putting radios and things into that cruiser or buying cages and things for a new type of cruiser. Because for 50 grand, you're not getting one cruiser.
Yeah,
No, I get it. All I'm saying is that without any other detail, why isn't this a capital project as opposed to unless as you're telling me they're upgrading radios in 10 cruisers at $10,000 a pop or $5,000 a pop.
I think that's what it is. I think it because I do remember him saying when we met with him that the cruisers that they had and the cruisers that they were getting were different. The push bars weren't the same. The cages in the back weren't the same. So they had to do some modifications. That very well be meet what it is to the cruisers they have, not to buy a new one.
And then that would answer the question as to why it's not a capital project and that it's part of the operational budget, because each individual one would fall under that cap.
Correct. So we'll ask for some more. I'll ask for some more detail, and you know, we can hopefully get all our questions answered. Article 3, to see if the town will vote to appropriate and or transfer from available funds to various department capital accounts for the following items or take any action in relation thereto. So you can see, I believe that's 3 alpha would be town buildings, town hall maintenance, 3 Bravo IT server, 3 Charlie replace fire car number 2, 3 Delta SCBA equipment. So there's quite a few items on there, down through it.
I would like a little explanation on 3B, considering every year we seem to give IT about $100,000. What service are we doing for 210,000?
Yeah, so town administrator's note was that IT server switch upgrade. So I don't know what that I don't know what that is. I know Ryan's on the call. I don't know if he's allowed to jump in and sort of say what it was, or if he's comfortable saying it. If not, I can ask the town administrator.
Yeah, just to, oh, here goes, Brian.
So I will ask him more detail on those.
Sorry, I don't know if I'm allowed to speak because I'm technically not on the agenda. So
I understand. So I'll push that question through the town administrator. Thanks, Ryan.
no problem.
So there's quite a few on there, and I think there's some that are significant enough that they all require, in my opinion, a little more explanation.
Agree.
Other than just the town administrator recommends it. I know there's more to be done. There's some work being done at the Indian Head Middle School. There's the roadway replacement. So we'll get further clarification on those. So we'll move on right now. Did I skip ahead here? Article 3. So next article is school committee capital projects. I don't see that on the explanation. Did I miss that? On the actual town meeting warrant. Mine goes from 3 to 6.
Yeah, hold on, let's see.
Yeah, no, mine, the later one. What about the one that got sent at like 4 o'clock?
Yeah, I'm looking. So I think they're misnumbered.
Yeah, I don't see it on the most recent one that you sent over.
No, but because I'm looking at the spreadsheet breakdown that says, Article 6 is the audit, Hanson Regional School District operational audit. And on the one that the draft warrant that he sent us, that's still Article 8, it appears. To see if the town will vote to transfer some of the money from available funds to pay for an operational and comparative audit of the Whitman-Hanson Regional School District, or take any action there in relation thereto. The purpose of this article is to conduct an operational and comparative audit of Whitman-Hanson Regional School District finances. So this is the audit that we were supposed to have months ago. It looks like they're finally going to take some action on it. $14,000 from free cash. Questions on Article 6?
I guess the only question I have, I think that this is one of those things that if the work's already been done, this is the bill, and it's going to be tough to say, no, we're not supporting it, no, we're not paying it. But I guess my question that I would ask is, by the vote that we had in regards to the school committee going forward, I mean, the school system going forward, and kind of our passing at, or willing to agree to the assessment, are we crossing wires? Can we go back and say, we got the audit and there's a problem with X, Y, and Z that we feel strongly about? And do we have a leg to stand on in regards to moving forward against any of those things? Whereas we made that agreement to say, we're just going to split everything and we're fine and we don't have another bite at the apple. Are these two separate issues, or did we
So I guess
cut ourselves off by agreeing to the other one?
yeah, I understand what you're saying. I still think when we were going through this process with the school district and they sent down their finances, there was some, it was interesting to see how it was broken out. So in my opinion, I don't think there's anything wrong with still having the audit to ensure that, the accounting, is in line with how it should be and where we think we're going. If we're
Right.
yes, right, like now we're 50-50 partners, but we're also still moving forward with the deregionalization feasibility committee. So, I think the more data we have, the better. And I don't think this issue is, we've settled it, but it could come back again.
Yeah.
So if this is the end of it for now, or if if the demographics change again in the next few years and this swings the other way, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I understand what you're saying. It seems like, and I wish they had done it months ago. I wish we had gotten the data months ago, but here we are now.
Well, based on the information that I know of, I would think that this is kind of or I guess I should say, I would hope we're already at the stage where this has been in process and here's the bill. Or was this that the bidding process has taken this long and the quote unquote winning bid would be 14,000, and are you going to pay for it or not just to get it started?
Right. Yeah, I don't have that answer, so I will ask.
The more I think about it, it might be the latter and not the former.
Right.
Something we need regardless. The 50-50 partnership is done, so the audit's going to do you no good, really, for deregionalization and/or, like Kevin said, if things switch, but we have the majority and they don't, would have a better knowledge of what we're thinking. But at the 50-50 partnership, it's not going to matter. It's irrelevant.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Article 9, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate a transfer from available sums of money to pay for the fiscal year 2022 recertification year adjustments and the commercial, industrial, personal property cyclical recertification of the town's real estate and personal property values as required by Mass General Law, Chapter 218. It says Mass General laws require that valuations be recertified every 5 years. All building schedules, land tables, depreciation schedules, etc., are calculated according to the current real estate market. New income and expense figures are also adopted based on the current commercial and industrial market. This is to fund the last year of contract changes adopted to the prior legislation amendments imposing a 5-year requirement. Questions on Article 9?
No.
I'm sorry, Article 7? It says Article 9 still, but it's actually Article 7.
I'm good.
Article 8, to see if the town will vote to transfer the sum of $30,000 from free cash to pay for engineering costs related to the park to be located at the old Plymouth Colony Hospital site or take any other action in relation thereto. These funds are needed to design construction plans for the infrastructure and roadways of the proposed park at the former Plymouth County Hospital site located off of High Street. And this will be $30,000 from free cash.
What's this for?
So they can design the park that's going in at the Plymouth County Hospital site.
Apparently, the first 10 times we didn't design a park.
I didn't hear you. You were sort of cutting in and out there, Ken.
I said apparently the first 10 times we did this, we haven't designed a park.
Nope, still no park design. Article 9, to see if the town will vote to transfer the sum of $49,000 from free cash to pay for stump grinding, stump removal, and related improvements located at Camp Kawani, or take any other action in relation thereto. This article will fund the removal or grinding of all tree stumps from the trees that were recently cut down at Camp Kawani. This article will also fund loam and reseeding of the area near the lodge, as well as a stone backfill for all stumps ground or removed near the roadway. The stumps that are removed will be reused in Smitty's bog for habitat reclamation purposes. This is,
Hey, Kevin, it's Amy.
So has
I just logged on.
is the town, I'm sorry, Michelle, go ahead.
No, I think that was Amy saying she just joined.
No.
It was.
Oh, Amy, I'm sorry. So is the town taking over Camp Kawani? Is that what I'm gathering? Because this was the $50,000 septic system that we took over. Now we're doing this trees. Is their account going to pay for anything ever?
it doesn't look like it. This is proposed by the Recreation Committee. Recreation Commission. They have proposed this. And they're looking for 49 grand out of free cash. I want to say with the town accountant said Recreation only has $39,684 in retained earnings.
So to answer your question, Ken, no.
Yeah.
I guess not. Perfect. So that, yeah, whatever. Getting frustrated.
And how much did we give them already to take the trees down?
25, 29.
Yeah, I
Here.
want to.
More than 50, right?
No, I want to say it was. I want to say it was around 30, just under 30. I think the 50 grand you're thinking of, Amy, was the septic system.
No, I thought there were
No.
2 separate asks for taking the trees down.
The septic was like 150.
I thought the
That
last
paid off that loan.
right.
Yeah, the last payment though, we paid 50 grand, I believe. For the septic. And then I think they wanted 29 for the trees, and now we're at 49 for taking the stumps that should have been part of the trees. So, I mean, it is what it is. It's like Mike will say, it's work that's already been done, so we can't put them back.
Yeah,
So when we go to do work like this, we don't factor in like getting all of the work done. I'm just.
it doesn't appear that way. It appears that we're, like you said, my thought would have been that they could have cut down less trees, but also ground the stumps all the way down, or remove stumps. But evidently they know what kind of a kind-hearted town we are, and they're just going to keep giving money to Camp Kawani for removing trees. Further discussion of Article 9. Article 10, to see if the town will vote to transfer from available funds the sum of $22,000 for repairs to the parking lot located at 228 High Street, or take any other action in relation thereto. The parking lot at 228 High Street is in disrepair. The pavement has buckled and there are numerous divots, dip and divots. These funds will repave the parking lot and make repairs so the parking lot is passable and usable. And this is proposed by the interim highway director.
Didn't we just have this at town meeting in July? This looks vaguely familiar.
22,000.
There was something for a parking lot on High Street. I don't have any of the July town meeting like at my fingertips, but
We had some discussion over some
Private
unaccepted
town.
roads that were in disrepair.
no,
Yeah.
that was the yeah, the grading of the
Yeah.
dirt roads.
Yes, I
Oh,
don't know
that's not
that,
what I'm thinking of. I
yeah.
could have sworn we've seen this, but it was like maybe a different address or something. Was it like 219?
Hold on, let me, I have my annual town meeting. Did you say annual or special?
I don't remember. This looks vaguely familiar, and I don't want to hold things up, but I will try to take a look at some of the stuff I have if I still have it. But the
But
address may be different. I want to say like 219 High Street or 210 High Street is sticking in my brain, but I thought it was the same thing of the parking is in disrepair.
What is 228? Where is that?
Is it a town building?
That's up at the food pantry location.
Okay,
I don't see it on an actual article from the town meeting we just had, Mike.
Okay, I'll see, take a look at it, but this rings a bell as to something that we've already looked at.
Let me see.
I remember that there were other roads that were talked about. I don't remember this one in particular though, or
Like, I believe that this was on the first pass we did of last town meeting and it was removed.
Okay, so it is roughly the same thing. It's just we didn't do it, and this isn't more money for it.
I will double check that, but I believe it was removed because I don't see it on any of the articles. But I'll make a note of it and we can discuss it with the town administrator.
Yeah, I just don't want this to be a scenario of like talking about the trees at Camp Kawani, that it was, we did 30,000 here and now we're back for another 20,000 or
Well,
22,
I
whatever
will
the
say-
number is.
I
But
will
I
say
just, it
we are gonna see
looked
that-
very, very familiar to me. I couldn't put the specifics on it.
Yeah, I will say, Mike, I think we're going to see this 228 High Street again, even if we give this money, because this is part of the way in which they're going to access this new park that they're building. So I don't believe that this is the last time we'll see this.
Well, at that point, shouldn't it be part of the overall budget of the construction, the engineering, on-site engineering costs for doing the whole park?
Agreed. I agree. But I will discuss this further with the town administrator and get you those answers, Mike.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Article 11, to see if the town will vote to transfer the sum of $55,000 from free cash to pay for 5 new compactors to be located at the town of Hanson transfer station or take any other action in relation thereto. The compactors at the transfer station are old and in disrepair. This article will fund 5 new compactors at the transfer station. And I will state that prior to the DOR certification, the solid waste retained earnings has $66,000 in it. But they are looking for,
I would have the
Recap.
same objection to this that I had with their recreation.
yeah.
We have an enterprise account that can't enterprise itself in either one of those two establishments.
I knew you would have that question, Ken, so I had already started.
What we talked about 2 years ago is rearing its ugly head every single town meeting now.
Right.
My 2 cents on this is I think this begs the question of, you're asking for 5 compactors. Are 5 really necessary at this point in time? Could you do 2 or 3? And goes back to the usage question of, for example, like just when we started this talk about the money for the cruisers, at least with police, isn't that they're doing, 1 or 2 every year as opposed to massive, 5, 6 purchases in 1 year? Could you do 221 or or 3 and 2 over a couple of years to space that out. Is the usage warranted to replace all 5 at this point today? And I don't have the answer for that question, but that's how I would be looking at it.
No, and to your point, Michael, too, we had suggested, I know last year, in terms of like different days that they were going to be open and hours. Do we know if any of that was implemented to kind of save on the cost of what they were spending, or did they make no changes?
As far as I am aware, they have not made any changes. But I will ask those questions and bring that up to the town administrator and see if we can't get some answers. And if not, see if we can't maybe get someone from the Board of Health to discuss it in greater detail.
Could you actually repeat that, Kevin? I'm sorry, I cut out for a bit and I missed your response.
Yeah, sure. I don't have the answers. I will get them from the town administrator. If not, we can engage the Board of Health directly and see if we can't look at more of your suggestion, Mike, as to a 2-2-1 or a 1-2-2, some sort of phasing them in kind of process. Again, this sort of goes back to my fear that, you know, here we are again with free cash. Everyone's dipping into free cash all the time, every time. You know, why aren't we using enterprise funds? Why aren't we budgeting for these in the long term? Everyone's relying heavily on free cash, as we saw at the last town meeting. So I will definitely ask those questions.
Well, and piggybacking on that for the you know, using free cash to solve everything, you know, where we kind of broke our cardinal rule about that at this town meeting. I'm concerned that, you know, whether or not we would need to do something about that lines the next budget cycle. That begs the question of, do we be conservative in free cash expenditures at this point in time?
That's a great point.
Yeah.
I guess my question too, Kevin, would be, well, I'm there, I might as well ask him. Is that 999,000 plus part of or excluding the 450,000 free cash we gave at town meeting? Is this above and beyond, or is the 400 part of that, the 450?
I would tell you it's above and beyond.
This is above and beyond.
So above and beyond the ambulance account that has $1 million in it, $1,083,000, is that above and beyond what we gave at town meeting? The 350,000, 450,000 they gave at town meeting?
Yes.
Okay, so all of these numbers are above. We've already taken all of the town meeting money out, obviously, to run off of, get out of the 112. And this is what we have in excess.
Yes, but I will double check all of those. That's from the email I received from the town accountant. That's the way I read it, is that these are, you know, because specifically with the ambulance receipts, he says plus recent 2021, FY 2021 receipts. So he's adding in the receipts he's gotten from that.
Yep, okay.
That's a really good point, Ken.
What was that, Michelle?
No, I said that's a really good point to bring up.
All right, let me just. All right. That was Article 11. Article 12, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate a transfer from available funds the sum of $10,000 to replenish the conservation fund for open space management and related conservation purposes. Would take any action in relation thereto. One of the more important responsibilities of the Conservation Commission is the care and custody of open space land the town has designated for conservation. These open spaces are included in the Hanson Open Space and Recreation Plan, which describes the town's goals for acquiring and protecting open space and providing public access and passive recreation.
So is this above and beyond the 1 or 3% that they get for the CPA that they charge every taxpayer?
That's correct.
Good to know. I have to tell you, I sit through this and I get it. We're in a tough. I sit through this place and it seems like all of the woes and all of the worries we had back in July, we no longer have. Everybody's in favor of everything. Everybody looks like we're just going to divvy out money for every little thing in the world. They don't understand what Mike just said, that next year we're going to be in the same boat, the same predicament, looking for the same amount of money, if not more. And I can't believe we're sitting here voting on some of this stuff. It just absolutely baffles my mind.
No, I agree, Ken. That's a great point. There is a lot. When I looked at it, there was a heavy free cash usage on things that don't seem to be, I'll say, emergent with our current financial situation. I think people are forgetting that we're still down on receipts. We were behind on the money we took in as a town. We were behind. The governor's budget left us short. So I don't know if now is the best time to, to me, this seems like one of our previous October business as usual. We're in a pretty decent financial spot, not one where we're looking at an override we're still looking at an override next year. And this seems to be a lot of free cash that we're burning through.
Yeah, no, I agree. I just wanted to make that point. I agree with everybody here. I think we're trying to do our due diligence we have for the last couple of years, and it just seems like it just goes unheeded, which is too bad.
Yeah, like I feel like reality hasn't set in some folks, but it will.
Article 13, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate or transfer from free cash and or available funds a sum of money to be added to the town's other post-employment benefits trust fund or take any other action in relation thereto. This article will place funds in the town's OPEB trust fund. OPEB costs include non-pension costs the town is required to pay after an employee retires, such as health insurance. The town's OPEB liability as of June 30th, 2020 is estimated to be approximately $19.5 million by the town's actuarial firm. The OPEB trust fund has approximately $132,000 in it as of June 30th, 2020.
Is this going to be an every year thing, you think?
I would say yes.
So.
I would say yes. It's new though. I don't remember seeing this before.
I think it's only like 3 years. We haven't done this a lot. I remember the first time it came up because it seemed to be like, what is this?
Yeah.
And it was probably maybe 3 years ago. And I don't remember what the contributions have been. I want to say that they're $25,000, $30,000 when we've done them.
Yep.
And I think we have skipped a year. Like I think this would have been on the regular budget and probably got pushed to make sure we had money available. I don't know if Kevin can speak to that or not.
Yeah, I agree, Mike. I think you're right. It probably would have been on the annual. And we have. It wasn't last year. It might have been the year before. What we do put, a chunk at a time in when we can. But I don't think this is going away anytime soon. So that's sort of where we are right now. Further discussion of Article 13? Article 14, to see if the fund will vote to raise and appropriate a transfer from free cash or available funds a sum of money to be added to the town's stabilization fund. This is our stabilization fund. The stabilization balance was $1.3 million. not including the July to August interest, but I don't think that will change it too much. Discussion of Article 14.
No.
I'm good.
No.
Article 15 is to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate a transfer from free cash and or available funds a sum of money to be added to the regional schools capital stabilization fund as established by the October 2014 special town meeting. Take any action in relation to this. It's the Whitman Hanson Regional School District Stabilization Fund. $25,000 from free cash. Both the stabilizations will come from free cash. Any further discussion on Article 15?
I'm good.
Article
I'm good.
18, to see if the town will vote to make the office of tree warden an appointed position under the authority of the Board of Selectmen as per the provisions of Mass General Laws, Chapter 41, Section 1 Bravo, or take any action in relation thereto. This article will change the office of tree warden from an elected position to an appointed position under the Board of Selectmen's control, but only if this article passes and a ballot box vote to be held in spring of 2021 also passes.
We know why.
Yes. So I watched the selectmen's meeting the other day. There was some concern about how much is appropriated to the tree warden, how much actually gets done, where it comes. To be honest, there was some ridiculous discussion about them wanting to make the tree warden a certified arborist. So instead of, you can't, it's not something you can be elected to if you wanted a certified arborist, but, luckily there were some cooler heads that prevailed and said, well, if we're going to look for a certified arborist, we're going to have to pay a certified arborist to do this job. So
Yeah.
again, that's sort of my concern is that, I think the tree warden does a good job under the direction of the highway department and working with the highway department and working with the very small budget we give him for a rural town. My concern is moving this to an appointed position, as long as if it's an appointed position that's reasonable. But if you're going to look to appoint an arborist and add another significant payroll to the town payroll, I think that's not in the best interest of the town, in my opinion.
Yeah, I didn't hear that part of it, which when you go in depth, that sounds ridiculous, but I just think working under the highway surveyor or the highway director or superintendent or whatever we would like to call him, I don't know, he's interim, I believe. He would have the day-to-day best interest of the town and the trees to tell the tree warden what to do. I'm not sure he's going to get that on a day-to-day basis from the selectmen. And they would be his boss.
Right. Well, I mean, I guess by default it would be the town administrator.
I don't think he'll have the same guidance under the town administrator day-to-day that he would under the highway supervisor. I think I don't like the explanation, so I don't think it's a great idea, but I'm happy that we had a reason for it, I guess.
Any further discussion of Article 16?
No.
Any outstanding questions that you would like me to get verification for that we haven't already discussed in relation to the articles for the special town meeting?
I'm good.
Yeah, other than the things that I brought up,
Yeah.
I'm good. I mean, I have concerns. I think the board has concerns. I think you as the chairman have concerns, but I don't know if they're going to go unheard or not or whatever, but I think this is the forum to do it. And then, we'll do our due diligence and make sure we're fiscally responsible for the town.
Absolutely. All right, so that's, if there aren't any further questions about the warrant, I will close discussion on that. What I would like to do is go in and approve some minutes. I sent you all the minutes, I believe. It should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sets of minutes. So if everyone has that, I would like to pull up the 14 January 2020 minutes. Any question regarding the 14 January 2020?
None for me.
None for me.
Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion regarding the minutes of 14 January.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Dugan,
Second.
Second.
seconded by Mr. McCormick. If for convenience, if we can go down the list, as long as you both you gentlemen were here, if we can sort of follow the same format. Mr. Dugan, if you'd take the motion to approve, Mr. McCormick, you'll second. If not, if you're not there, we'll get someone else.
Yep.
Motion's been made and seconded. We will do a roll call vote. Mr. Dugan,
Aye.
Mr. McCormick,
Aye.
Mrs. Werdeman,
Aye.
Mrs. Wright,
Aye.
Mr. Sullivan, aye. The minutes are approved. Please pull up the minutes of 11 February 2020.
Motion to approve as presented.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. We will do a roll call vote. Mr. Dugan,
Aye.
Mr. McCormick,
Aye.
Ms. Werdeman,
Aye.
Ms. Wright, you were not there, so we'll hold off on that. And Mr. Sullivan, aye. Approved 4-0. The minutes of 10 March 2020.
Motion to approve as presented.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. We'll do a roll call vote. Mr. Dugan,
Aye.
McCormick,
Aye.
Ms. Werdeman,
Aye.
Ms. Wright,
Aye.
Mr. Sullivan, aye. Approved 5-0. Please look at the minutes of 16 June.
Kevin, I just have one question.
Sure.
Under the account balances, we had the reserve balance at 90,000. Did we really go to almost 2 weeks to the end of the fiscal year and not take anything out of reserve fund?
Yes. Yeah, I had to look at that the first time myself.
Yeah, that's the only thing I needed clarity on. Other than that, I make a motion to recommend approval as presented.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. We'll do a roll call vote. Ms. Wright, you were not there that night, so we'll pass over you. Mr. Dugan,
Aye.
Mr. McCormick,
Aye.
Ms. Werdeman,
Aye.
Mr. Sullivan, aye. Approved 4-0. June 2020.
Top heading says minutes of 16 June 20.
Thank you for the catch. I have changed that.
Approve as. Oh. I think I cut
Mr.
out
Dugan.
there. I'm sorry. Motion to approve as updated per noted edit.
Second with the correction.
Motion has been made and seconded to approve the minutes of 30 June with the noted edits. We'll do a roll call vote. Mr. Dugan,
Aye.
Mr. McCormick,
Aye.
Ms. Werdeman,
Aye.
Ms. Wright,
Aye.
Mr. Sullivan, aye. Approved 5-0. July 2020.
Motion to approve as presented.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve the minutes of 14 July. We'll do a roll call vote. Mr. Dugan,
Aye.
Mr. McCormick,
Aye.
Ms. Werdeman,
Aye.
Ms. Wright,
Aye.
Sullivan, aye. Approved 5-0. Thank you all. Those were the minutes that I had needing approval. So I will, I've made the necessary updates. I will send them off to the town clerk. And I will file a copy in our well, I haven't been back up to our filing room, but I will file them when I go back up to the town hall. So that was all I had on tonight's agenda. We did our review. I have a list of questions to bring back to the town administrator and town accountant. Is there anything outstanding and related to that that might have popped in your head over the last 10 minutes? Otherwise, that's all I have for tonight.
I'm good.
No,
I'm
I'm
sorry.
all set.
So we'll look
Okay.
at. I want to talk to the town administrator, and I want to try and look at meeting maybe next Tuesday, because we are coming to the end of the year, or if not next Tuesday, the Tuesday after, because then we should have the selectmen's votes. I don't know if they're going to do the the standard, they're going to wait for us to vote, or, you know, I'd like to see where their stances are on some of these, but I haven't gotten any idea of how they're going to vote. So, so I will reach out to you each individually over the next day or so to get a feel. Is there anyone who has a hard no for next Tuesday night?
Not to the best of my knowledge at this point.
Yeah, I think I'm good. I'm good.
Okay. All right, great. Then I will reach out to you individually and solidify that. But right now we'll look at 9/15.
First day of
September.
school.
First
Woohoo!
day of school. There you go.
Send those kids back.
All right, that's all I had for tonight. So I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Dugan, seconded by Ms. Werdeman. We'll do a roll call vote. Mr. Dugan,
Aye.
Mr. McCormick,
Aye.
Ms. Werdeman,
Aye.
Ms. Wright,
Aye.
Ms. Sullivan, aye. We are adjourned. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thanks.
Have a good night, guys.